prehistoric animals are still to be found in the world, if you know where to look for them. Here in this strange jungle, created in a training college, there are every kind of strange creature. Some with 2 legs, some with 4, and some with even more. But all have one thing in common, a wire skeleton. Some animals are recognizable creatures of a known breed. Others, as they take life and shape, develop into fantastic creatures whose like has never been seen on Earth. The materials needed to create them are simple: thin pliable wire, cold water paste, old newspapers, a few strands of cotton, powder or poster paint, varnish, and of course, cutting and bending pliers. Children of about 10 years and upwards can make the creatures very successfully, but their hands cannot handle tough wire. Care must be taken to provide them with the softest wire possible, in order to enable them to bend it easily to the shapes required. Experiment first with a single strand, bending it into shapes until a satisfactory skeleton has been achieved. Can you recognize any of these? Giraffe, crocodile, squirrel, dachshund, swan. The wiriness of the medium suggests essentially creatures with agile limbs and bodies whose underlying skeletons are not buried under mountains of flesh. Choose a slinky cat, a long-necked giraffe stretching upwards for a meal of leaves, or a spiraling dragon with outstretched wings, and the medium will come to life. About 4 strands of wire are needed for the backbone, which is calculated to reach from nose to tail. Having decided upon the shape, twist the second strand round the first. Add the next 2 until you have a twisted wire of 4 strands. In this way, the hands do not have to handle more than 1 wire at a time. Each pair of limbs are made from 2 lengths of wire. Push a strand through so there is an equal length each side, and twist twice round the body to strengthen the joint. Repeat with the second wire and twist together. If the creatures do not stand properly, the feet can be pushed temporarily into shoes of plasticine. It's not necessary to have all 4 feet touching the ground, as long as the body is balanced. Running, rearing, and other poses can be suggested. And sometimes the tail can be used to support the body, especially if 1 or more legs are off the ground. Even the most fantastic of these creatures are more effective if some of the laws of animal anatomy are followed. The front limbs do not generally grow from the neck or chest, or hind limbs from the middle of the body. Make the first spring from the shoulders, set back a bit from the chest, and the latter from the haunches, not the tail. If wings are added, these should come well down on the shoulders, not from the back of the neck. Most excrescences, such as ears, horns, and tongue. This is where the 4 strands come in handy. Open out the wire at the head end, and you have 4 strands which you can twist into extra shapes. Extra single strands can be pushed in and twisted round if desired. Even if you want your creation to sprout a series of spines down its back, a thin piece of wire, even flower wire will do, can be bent and attached to the body by twisting it round the spine. You are now ready to start the modelling. Mix some cold water paste in a flat container, such as a plate. Cut several pieces of sewing cotton into lengths of about 1 foot or less. Anything longer will tangle. Tear the newspaper into strips of about 3/4 of an inch wide and 6 inches or less long. Anything longer will tear. Run a newspaper strip through the paste, or paste with a large brush, and wind it tightly around the straightest part of the skeleton. This is likely to be the backbone, and enables one to get the feel of the medium without worrying about joints. Bind it round tightly with cotton. There is no need to tie any knots, as the paste holds it in place. Repeat this until the wire has been completely covered. Do not attempt to get any extra thickness of body at this stage. Your aim is merely to cover the wire so that you have a more sympathetic medium on which to build your padding. When you come to a joint, bind it in a figure of 8 shape, like a bandage. The creature should now be left a few hours in a warm place to dry, and care should be taken to leave it standing in the desired stance, as it will dry permanently in this position. When dry, complete the padding. Continue to wind paper and cotton round the thinner parts of the body, and thick wads of pasted paper round the rib cage, pelvis, and so forth. This is essential to give the creature thickness. Pad the head, especially on the cheeks and forehead, and taper the padding of the legs to obtain good balance and shape. Manes and tails can be made of fringed cord, silk, or string, and added after the chief padding has been done. Make webbed wings of flat strips of pasted paper wound between 2 wire edges. Cotton should not be used for the final layers of paper. Dry tissue paper, smoothed onto the sticky newspaper cutting, will give a good finish. Mixed paste and tissue can be rolled into a pulp to add such details as eyeballs. The model should now be left to dry thoroughly. When dry, cover it with a coat of stiff powder paint mixed with a little paste. Most animals are a different colour underneath, generally lighter, and at least 2 colours should be blended in on the first coat. Imagination can now run riot, either by using naturalistic colours or applying patterns of all kinds, but they should not obscure the flowing or angular lines of the original model. When painting the head, get as much tone value as possible. Paint the inside of the ears in a contrasting colour, also the nose and nostrils, and exaggerate the length of the mouth. If it is open, you can have great fun adding teeth and tongue. The eyes are the most important feature in the head and must at all costs be accentuated. Do not be satisfied with a mere black dot. Use several colours, including black and white, and accentuate their size. When dry, apply 2 coats of quick-drying, heat-resisting varnish to give a glossy finish. Metallic paint can be used on such things as horns, hooves, and teeth, but should be added after varnishing. 2-legged creatures and birds, or even humans, can be made in this medium, but they must be carefully balanced and their feet weighted, or a stand provided. If each member of the class has made an animal, it is fun to give them a zoo or jungle to sport themselves in. But that is another story.